I really like the look of it. It looks safe, but at the same time doesn't look prison-like.
School district making new security additions to all 42 public schools in Sarasota County. How students are adjusting to those changes.
Plus, the latest on a Sarasota-based travel agency that owes millions of dollars to customers after shutting down.
And a look at how birds are being affected by red tide. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Topping our news at 5 tonight, many Sarasota County students returning to improved and hardened schools this month.
All 42 schools have undergone renovations to increase security and student safety. ABC 7's Taylor Torgano is live at Sarasota Middle School with the finished product and how students are adjusting. Taylor.
Jacqueline, Scott, just inside these doors, there's a whole new look for Sarasota Middle School's front office. So how are parents and students adjusting to these new procedures and near bulletproof glass and doors? So far, so good.
It's crazy, it's unbelievable, it's sad, it's disturbing, it's scary.
It's the reality of the times we're living in. Another mass shooting was the last straw for legislators who passed a bill to harden the schools of every district in Florida.
So when I first walked in, I really like the look of it. It looks safe, but at the same time doesn't look prison-like.
The Sarasota County School District spent $21 million installing the new security measures at all 42 campuses, to include bullet-resistant glass and doors, a single point of entry, and new interior gates.
We're finding that we are really okay, and we communicated often about the new gates and fencing, and that we do have the new secure lobby, and that guests would not be able to walk their kids to the classroom.
Changes for students, parents, and staff, both visually and procedurally.
If I can just have your ID, and then you can go into
But through the minor growing pains, the principal of Sarasota Middle School says they're asking all the right questions to get accustomed.
What is the Raptor system, and what are the processes with gates? And we just reiterated, if you hear something, say something. So I really believe we talk about it takes a village. Without being cliche, safety of these students, it takes the whole village.
And Dorn says this village is working together quite smoothly to keep their first priority safe and educated.
It makes a big difference, definitely. Yeah, it makes you feel better.
You heard the principal mention the Raptor system and may be wondering what that is. Raptor prevents any registered sex offender from entering onto school grounds. It also keeps track of any custody alerts or banned visitors. I'm live at Sarasota Middle School. Taylor Torgano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Taylor, thank you. Sarasota County charter schools getting an extra $1.6 million from the school district after a change of heart by the board last night. Charter schools will get just shy of $800 per student, which is exactly what they had budgeted for, despite receiving about $1,300 per student last year. That extra money was used to better secure charter school campuses, installing new cameras, new fences, and other security features. Now, with more money coming from the district, these types of school security improvements can continue.
Over the past 3 weeks, Manatee County has cleaned up nearly 160 tons of dead sea animals due to red tide, most of it coming from Anna Maria Island. Manatee County says the beaches are being cleaned daily with machines, as well as help from inmates and volunteers. Last week, the county placed dumpsters at multiple boat ramps on Anna Maria Island, and they have now added them to neighborhoods with dead fish in their canals. The county has also started a red tide hotline where residents can report fish kills.
Are birds being affected by the red tide? Experts at Save Our Seabirds tell us 6 laughing gulls suffering the effects of red tide have been brought to their shelter in the past 2 weeks. Experts say red tide affects birds neurologically since it is a neurotoxin.
So basically it affects their neurological system and they're unable to stand and walk. So it looks like they have broken legs or they're unable to keep their head up, but it's just basically the toxins not allowing them to move properly.
Laughing gulls are the only birds here on the Sun Coast that have been affected so far, but Lee Worthy says brown and white pelicans will head back here in December, so they are hoping that the red tide clears up by then.
Another dead dolphin has been recovered in Sarasota County. That brings the total to 14 since August 7th. Venice Marine Patrol says the dolphin was found by sea tow about a mile off the Intracoastal Waterway in Venice. What Marine Lab said of the 13 dolphins recovered as of Tuesday, 7 were males and 6 were females. The sex of this 14th has not been released yet.
Well, time to check in on our first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. And Bob, I was all the way over by UTC Mall today, and I could still kind of smell that smell of dead fish.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of people on social media also showing and reporting a nasty smell, and it's not the red tide, it's the decaying dead fish from the bays and from the canals right there, and with a west wind and a pretty strong one from the start to almost the finish today. It has really brought that smell well inland. I know my daughter was complaining about it as well at school today. Coastal showers are possible this evening. We're getting some right now, and it looks like that west wind will continue throughout the day on Thursday, even into Friday. So if you smelled it today, more than likely you're going to continue to smell it right through Friday. Now, we will get back to the easterly component by the weekend. That will also favor some late day storms and a lot more lightning to be around, I think, both on Saturday and Sunday. So keep that in mind as you have your weekend plan. Now, that frontal boundary is, for the most part, washed out. It's stationary over north central Florida right now. The heaviest activity, as you would expect, inland and along the east coast, and we are looking for a few brief showers here along the coast. You can see Northport had some pretty heavy rainfall now. That light rain is now lingering near Charlotte County, and there are the showers that I mentioned near Siesta Key and Longboat Key. You can see a little bit of activity right there. One along, looks like Fruitville, heading off toward I-75, and some heavier showers near L'Ambiance and south portions of Lido right now, or Longboat Key, and also some rainfall near Siesta Key, pushing off toward the Gulf Gate Estate. So expect a brief shower there or two. We'll have more on our weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. New at 5, one person is injured while trying to steal copper wiring from an abandoned business. Firefighters got a call of a structure fire at the old Sports Authority building in Bradenton on Cortez Road. 4 fire engines responded to the scene, but the fire was out before crews moved in to contain it. Officials say that injured person was taken to the hospital and then arrested. That arrest is for theft and criminal mischief. According to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, the suspect was attempting to steal copper wiring when that fire started.
An update now on a traffic crash investigation in Sarasota. The vehicle versus pedestrian crash happening near the intersection of 10th Street and US 41 last night, just before 9:30. Police say a man was taken to Sarasota Memorial Hospital after the crash and then later died. The next of kin has not been notified yet, and the investigation is ongoing.
An update on a story we first brought to you back in November on a travel agency that owed millions of dollars to customers when it shut down. Now, Florida's Attorney General Pam Bondi has filed legal action against that company. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now from outside of one of the former offices with the latest on what this means for customers. Rebecca?
Jacqueline, this was one of the 11 offices that the travel agency Legendary Journeys had in Florida. They've been closed since last October, but they left the majority of their customers without those promised trips or even refunds.
Legendary Journeys assets far exceed the deposits of money that we have from clients. We have a very substantial asset base, and we will be able to refund every single guest that we have.
That's what Al Ferguson, the owner of Legendary Journeys, said to ABC last year. But today, officials say the company owes more than $3 million to people nationwide and that they don't have enough money to pay back creditors.
We had planned an around-the-world cruise for 2019. It was going to be 4 months long. And would have left January and got back, I think, the first week of May. We put over $5,000 down, and we got a note sometime in November, I think, telling us that Legendary was going to close their doors and that our reservation had been turned over to Anchors Away.
But when they reached out to the cruise line, they had no record of their reservation or any type of deposit. The Hungerfords had used this travel agency many times in the past, so they never thought this would have happened.
Think about it until later. They wouldn't take a credit card for the deposit. They definitely wanted a check. And see, if we would have paid with a credit card, we could have gotten the money back.
And they're not alone. They're just one of 800 cases of this kind involving travelers from Florida and even all across the country.
They said, oh, that was just a cash flow problem, and that, within 30 days, we would get our money back. And of course, we insured our cruise, which we always do. And so we figured, well, that won't be a problem. We're covered with insurance. But it seems that that particular insurance, the fact that they've gone bankrupt, it's not covered. And so I kept saying to them, well, it wasn't a bankruptcy. They told us it was just a cash flow problem. And come to find out, they did file for bankruptcy. So it was bankruptcy right from the beginning.
Attorney General Pam Bondi's lawsuit says the company took all this money that was supposed to be used for vacation packages and used it to pay for personal expenses and make extra payroll distributions.
The Attorney General's office filed this lawsuit so that customers can receive full refunds and so that the owners of Legendary Journeys can never operate a travel agency again. Live in Nokomis, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7 Your Suncoast News.
Rebecca, thank you so much. Coming up, Hurricane Elaine, now a dangerous Category 4 storm. The warnings tonight for people in Hawaii.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus how breastfeeding may reduce the risk of stroke later on in life. So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC 7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with a family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Don't hide it. We know that sometimes emotions just get the better of you, especially at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. And we know getting a deal on the Honda Civic, a 2018 KBB.com Best Buy, can be quite liberating, especially when this stylish Honda Civic comes with Sport Mode.
Yes! Yes!
Express what you're feeling at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
I'm happy you're happy.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Civic today.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Hurricane Elaine taking aim at Hawaii as a Category 4 storm tonight. Hurricane warnings and watches have been issued for some of the eastern islands. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez shows us how people there are preparing.
Hurricane Elaine, now a dangerous Category 4 storm.
Is forecast to bring it much closer to the island.
Residents and tourists bracing for up to 20-foot waves, severe flooding, and destructive winds.
We're very scared, but we're just going to make the most of it.
The massive storm with sustained winds up to 155 miles an hour seen here from the International Space Station, prompting hurricane warnings for Maui and Hawaii counties.
We got to take it very, very seriously. And we're all working together at this point to make sure that we plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Kauai still recovering from April's record-breaking rains that triggered devastating floods, now under a hurricane watch.
The stores are being flooded with people, and Costco's, all of that is happening at this time.
Water at this Walmart in Honolulu sold out, gas stations running out of fuel. Hurricane hunters flying into the eye of the storm, tracking its intensity.
There's no other way for the forecasters to see what exactly is inside the storm and what's going on until we get there.
President Trump tweeting to people in Hawaii, please prepare yourselves.
The president is deeply concerned for the well-being of all Hawaiians and has directed FEMA and administration officials to remain in close coordination with the state of Hawaii and stand ready to support them in whatever they need.
And right now, forecasters don't expect the storm to make landfall, but say it could pass near Maui and Oahu later this week as a damaging Category 2 hurricane. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, Bob's here now. More on this big storm that could cause some problems.
It is going to cause problems. Luckily, they're not going to see a Category 5 or a 4, or probably not even a 3. And the latest forecast path and track keep it off as far as the center goes and the strongest winds off the islands there. So good news. We're still going to get some devastating rains and some high surf. We're talking 25, 30-foot waves there. Here is the look of the satellite imagery of Elaine. It's not that well organized on the southwest side. It has a lot of rain to the right of it, though, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to move right on in close to the islands, and 155-mile-an-hour winds moving to the west-northwest, and there's the forecast path and track. And you can see it gets very close, but that would be a Category 1 hurricane at that point if it were to follow that center line, and then it weakens significantly as it moves away from the island. So my take on it, they're going to get some very heavy rain, flash flooding, likely high surf, 25, 30-foot waves, and some possible hurricane-force winds there, especially on the western portions of the islands. And here's a look at the Van Wezel webcam closer to home here. Some showers moving through. You'll see that in the last few frames. It was partly cloudy to cloudy skies at times, and then there's a brief shower near Lido and Longboat Key. That has since moved on, really, and will continue to move off to the west and looks like, I should say east, as we get that westerly wind flow. A little trough of low pressure to the north of us. That's generating these showers, a little forcing going on, and that forcing is just enough to create a few spotty showers for us. That stationary front will stay there. There's some real dry air behind there in Georgia and Alabama. You can see that trough of low pressure right there, close enough to us to generate some showers. We saw this a couple of weeks ago, too, and got some pretty big rains. We're getting that westerly wind, which unfortunately is bringing all that smell, that nasty smell, all the way to I-75 now. And it'll be around again tomorrow and even on Friday, I think. Before we start to see that wind shift change, that front will fade, high pressure will bounce back up over North Florida, and we'll see a return throughout most of the day out of the east and northeast, which will have a tendency to blow that nasty smell out toward the Gulf of Mexico, with a little west coast breeze developing in the afternoon, though, so don't think it's going to go away totally for coastal residents. Some showers still lingering, that rain that was around Longboat Key for the most part over, although we're still seeing at the southern end near Lido, and a pretty heavy shower right there near I-75 in Fruitville, heading in toward, again, some areas there east of I-75 near Tatum, and we could also see some rainfall into Laurel Oak and places surrounding that. Now, we are looking at the RPM forecast model showing a few spotty showers through this evening, and then most of it winding down after midnight. And they'll start to see some showers and storms popping up in the Gulf on Thursday morning. A little bit better chance, I think, to see morning showers along the coastline. We didn't see much of that today. A better chance tomorrow. And that will continue on Friday morning as well. So this evening, expect a few brief showers. Otherwise, most areas staying partly cloudy. It will stay warm too with a west wind and the water vapor content showing that real dry air behind that trough of low pressure. That dry air is not going to sink southward. So we're going to stay in the moist sector, and that means a pretty good chance for showers and storms even over the weekend as we return to those afternoon and evening storms both on Saturday and Sunday. Well, we saw what Elaine was doing in the Pacific. They've had a very active season. We have, on the other hand, had a very inactive hurricane season, and it looks like it's going to stay that way at least for the next week. And looks like shear will be a big factor. We'll have a lot of it in the Caribbean and the Atlantic throughout September. 91, that's what it feels like right now. West to northwest winds at 12, and tomorrow's forecast calling for a few coastal showers in the morning. The heat index up near 100 degrees later in the afternoon. Once again, as far as the boating goes, looks to be west to southwest winds. You don't see any easterly component there. That's because of that high pressure ridge, which is now located to the south and west of us. So a 40% chance for morning showers along the coast and then anywhere in the afternoon. And then we'll see better chances for mainly late day storms both on Saturday and Sunday. And that pattern continues through Wednesday. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. In health news tonight, breastfeeding. It's good for the baby, and now more evidence that it's good for mom, too. ABC's Janae Norman tells us why.
Stroke is the third leading cause of death for women, and a new study from the American Heart Association has a surprising discovery about something that may be linked to lower stroke risk: breastfeeding. Researchers from the University of Kansas looked at data from women between 1993 to 1998 and asked them if they breastfed their babies and for how long. They checked in with the same women later to see how many had experienced a stroke. The women who breastfed had a lower incidence of stroke. This was especially pronounced in non-Hispanic Black women who had a 48% lower risk of stroke later in life if they had breastfed. And the longer the woman breastfed overall, the lower their incidence of stroke. The medical advice on breastfeeding from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention is to feed babies for at least 6 months to improve their health. This study seems to give mom even more motivation to try it. With this Medical Minute, I'm Janae Norman, ABC News.
Coming up, the driver of a tractor trailer stuck inside the cab for hours after it crashed. An incredible video of a whale just feet from a fisherman's boat. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers. Or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system could make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now, SoClean.com has released the world's first automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, risk-free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
The SoClean works, and it's a really effective product, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to use.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks, destroying CPAP germs and bacteria without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and walk away. Voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited-time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
2 people are in the hospital tonight after a tractor trailer crashed into a creek in Pennsylvania. Police say the driver was trapped in that cab for 2 hours. The other passenger in the truck was able to free himself and crawl out just after it crashed. Now, police say they are investigating the possibility that the driver fell asleep while driving. A fisherman captured incredible video of a whale jumping out of the water just feet from his boat. Look at that. Their 20-foot boat was bobbing in the ocean just a mile off the coast of Hampton, New Hampshire, when the baitfish they were trying to catch swam into the path of that humpback whale. The fisherman says he posted the video on social media so people can appreciate the ocean, and he also says he realizes that next time maybe he should keep his distance.
A happy ending for a baby koala and her mother. Wildlife rescuers went to great lengths to reunite the two after days apart. Joey was found freezing and alone at the bottom of a tree, and the couple who found her took her in, bottle feeding her to make sure that she didn't lose any weight. The couple took turns waiting by the tree, hoping that the mom would return. After 3 days, she finally did, and the two were reunited. Glad they were able to know what to do and how to take care of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. So cute. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, how local organizations are working to get people on the Suncoast out to the polls to vote.
And lawmakers asking for the public's input on red tide, how you can let your voice be heard. Next.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991. Now, in one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TrueStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.